All right, so for this assignment, I chose to do the McDonald's Arch Deluxe to kind of show a product that just did not work well at all. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what this is and why it failed and some things they could have done differently. So, what is it? Well, in 1996, McDonald's introduced a burger called the Arch Deluxe, which is the picture you see here. Kind of looks like a Big Mac. And the reason why they did this is because they wanted to broaden their image from kid friendly to adult friendly. It was intended to appeal to urban sophisticates, which is kind of like the people that, didn't really eat fast food, but if they did eat fast food, then it would be kind of like a more upscale type of burger. And this was actually outside of the original target audience demographic for McDonald's, so they had to do a little extra work to make sure they reached this target audience. So what they did with the sandwich is they put a secret mustard mayonnaise sauce on the burger, and this was supposed to draw in a new demographic. They thought, okay, kids wouldn't really like this sauce, so if we, put a mustard mayonnaise kind of different kind of sauce on this sandwich, then it will take away more so from the kid demographic and go more towards the adult. So what actually ended up happening was it did not work out. They wanted to reach this group by advertising, and McDonald's spent a lot of money to try and reach this demographic. So they spent $150 million to do this, and this is one of the most expensive product failures in history. So they went out on a limb here, but it didn't work out. So what they did was, in terms of advertising, is in commercials, they had Ronald McDonald at clubs, they had him at coffee events, they had him playing in the pool. And this was all, or I'm sorry, not playing in the pool, but playing pool, like at clubs to draw in this adult audience. So initially, as you guys already know, Ronald McDonald's supposed to be kid friendly. You see him at birthday parties, you see him with a lot of different kids. And the way they wanted to approach this different target audience is okay, well, we're going to put Ronald McDonald where there's different clubs and there's different adult scenes to try and draw in that audience. So it actually backfired because instead of it going with the flow of the kid friendly, family friendly atmosphere, it completely backfired and it failed. And this was because it contradicted that original brand that people always knew that McDonald's had adopted for a while. And instead of bringing in these new customers, it actually drove them away. So this was a big, 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 big issue. And this was a huge product failure for McDonald's. So what went wrong? So I think the timing of it was just too early. This was 1990, and they should have waited. I feel like another decade because now you see different restaurants like Five Guys and In-N-Out Burger and those kind of restaurants that are not the cheap fast food kind of brand that McDonald's has, but instead it gives a different upscale burger option that kind of reaches that urban sophisticates audience that McDonald's was going for but failed to bring in because you wouldn't really see kids going to like a Five Guys. It's not really a kid friendly restaurant. So, and the other thing, which we already know, McDonald's is unhealthy, but this burger was like really, really, really unhealthy. It had 79% of the US recommended daily allowance of sodium and 36 grams of fat. So, not only was it, not advertised well, but it was also really, really unhealthy. And again, I talked about this before. It contradicted the previous brand. So we had a bond with this original brand. The target audience was family friendly, and then they flipped the script and kind of threw some people off and broke that bond, and it resulted in kind of a lack of trust. Like, what are you going towards, McDonald's? So, looking at the articles that we read, I took out a quote that says, "One makes use of the tools of marketing, communication, management, and implementation science to heighten the likelihood that potential adopting service providers and implementing staff will be curious and open-minded about a new intervention, willing to try it and work through obstacles to its introduction and use, and feel supported in their efforts at managing organizational change." So, looking at this and looking at what happened with McDonald's, it just shows that advertising was very important. It was an important part of disseminating this information, and they did not use the tools of marketing, communication, and management effectively, and it actually backfired. So the new idea wasn't received well, and it failed, as you can see. The target audience wasn't open-minded and curious about the burger because of the way it was communicated and displayed in those commercials. So the diffusion of ideas, this rule in this article, I think was very important and kind of brought everything full circle about why this product failed immensely. So thank you so much for listening, and this was my analysis of the Arch Burger.